Hello, Raquel. Gloria, how are you?
Hi, teacher.
Hi, teacher.
How are you?
I'm very well. How about you girls? Okay?
Fine, thank you.
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you
Good.
for us, teacher.
Gabriel, eating already, my friend?
Hello, teacher.
Holy moly. Hello, Camila. Oscar, you're back.
Yes, I'm today. Okay.
Yes, you didn't come yesterday, so you wouldn't have to sing, Oscar.
Yes, I lost your special moment.
Yeah, you missed. You didn't
Yes,
lose
I
it.
missed. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Are you
Everybody
okay?
was expecting you. Yes, I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Regina, are you all right?
Hi, teacher. Hi, guys. I'm right. I'm fine.
Yes. After your love declaration yesterday, did you have a nice evening?
Yesterday it's a good day. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For Regina, I don't know about today.
Funny day.
Yeah.
I
Funny
think.
day. Funny day.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think.
Good class.
Yes.
Oh.
I don't know if it was a good day, but I'm sure it was a great evening, okay?
It's common.
Don't make me jealous. Please.
Oh.
I envy that, okay? Oh, yeah. It's very good to hear this. Dirce, are you okay today?
Yes, I'm all right. Thanks. And you?
I'm perfect. Thanks for asking. Micaela, how are you? Roberta, are you all right? Nicholas, how's it going?
A little tired, but very well, but very well.
Hello, how are you? I'm going.
I'm great, thank you.
Oh, okay. I'm very well. Thanks for asking, girls. Adriana, you're back. Good to see you.
Yeah. Great. How are you, teacher?
I'm all right. You disappeared for some time. You are just
Yeah. I'm
attempt.
busy last day.
Yes. You were just like money in my wallet. Disappeared. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad
Teacher, please.
Yes.
What's the difference entre lost and miss when I use one or other?
That's very easy to explain, Gloria.
Yes.
Lose. We can only lose things that we can find. For example, I lost my pen. Oh, I found my pen. Understand?
Lose things.
You cannot lose a bus, for example. Understand? You miss a bus. You miss a class. You can miss a person. Like I missed Adriana. She was absent for a week. I missed her. So lose is always when you have something and you lose it. Understand?
Okay.
You don't know where. Okay? Understand, Gloria, or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
teacher.
No problem. That's the idea. Every time you say, I lost, it's possible that you find it. Yes. Who is asking me a question?
Dirce, last Thursday, you explained something about the rule. How can I pronounce the vowel when vowel there is a consonant between two vowels? Do you remember?
Like Mike,
Vowel,
Mickey?
consonant, vowel, about the pronunciation.
Like Mike, Mickey, yes?
Yeah. But I misunderstand very well.
Okay, let me see if I can open something here to explain you this. Let me see.
I'm looking for some exercise in YouTube,
No,
and I understand.
no. Probably you are not going to find, because this is taught in the very elementary school in the United States, okay?
Okay.
I will try to. Can you see my screen there? A white screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Okay, let me see. Oh. When you have a sequence of vowel, consonant, vowel,
Okay.
and 95% of the times, the first vowel is pronounced like in the alphabet. Okay?
Okay.
The guys of Mike.
Mike. Okay.
Okay?
But like love. Love is not the road.
Yes, we don't say loaf, but that's why
Yeah.
it's 95%.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you have a sequence of vowel plus consonant plus consonant or vowel plus final consonant, okay?
Okay.
Where are you? Okay. The first vowel is not pronounced like the
Alphabet.
alphabet. That's the case of Mickey. Okay?
Yeah.
That's why we
Okay.
say, for example, write, wrote, and
Written.
written. Okay? That's why we
Okay.
say hide,
Okay.
hid, hidden. Okay?
Okay.
So this works very well, do you see? Like 100% if the words are Anglo-Saxonic. Understand? All the exceptions are probably not Anglo-Saxonic words. They are either from Latin or Greek or Spanish. Understand? For example, when you see this word, I don't say television because this is not Anglo-Saxonic, okay? Then we say television, all right?
Right. Thanks. Thanks, Tito.
No problem. This, it's very interesting because it's so simple, but this is given to children when they start learning English in the elementary school. Understand? And when adults, nobody teaches this. They think that it's easier to learn by repetition. I don't agree. I think it's better to understand, okay? All right?
Teacher.
Okay. All right. Thanks very much.
No problem. Yes.
I was in another class today and I saw a new word that I didn't know. So in the moment that I saw that word, I remember what you said, and I have applied this thing. I don't know how to call
this rule,
and it worked very well. So thank you so much.
Yeah, usually it does. It does. Okay, usually it does. And it's very interesting, as I said, because if you pronounce always according to this rule, a native speaker will understand you. And if it's an exception, he's going to say, oh, no, no, no. In this case, you say this, because he knows that you are pronouncing according to the rule, but that word is an exception. Understand?
Okay.
It's the case of, for example, wind. We have to say wind. But if I say, for example, I'm going to wind my watch, they say, no, 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 it's wind, because you are pronouncing according to the rule, but the verb is wind. It's not wind. Wind is not a verb. It's a noun. Okay?
Okay.
Understand?
Yeah. Oh,
Excellent. So,
very much.
okay. Maybe tomorrow I can give you a complete guide of pronunciation. Okay?
Okay.
For example, when we have combined sounds like A, Y, A, I, when we have E, A, E, E, I, E, E, I, every combined sound has a different sound. Maybe I can give you this tomorrow, all right?
Right?
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome. Okay, let's start today's class because it's extremely important. Hello, I have just seen here Adriana. How are you, Adriana?
Fine, teacher.
Using your husband telephone again, huh?
Yeah.
Poor husband. Okay, yesterday I was telling you about the first case, the first. There are three important cases, how to change from direct speech to indirect speech. Direct speech is when we say something using the exact words that we heard. For example, I'm quoting, the president of Brazil called the COVID-19 as a little flu. That's not my word. You see, I'm quoting him. So I use the inverted comma to say that this is what he said. So this is called direct speech. Understand? Indirect speech or reported speech is when we listen something, when we read something, when we see something, and we process and we report it. Okay? Like can be real, sometimes can be a little altered. I don't know, but it's a way of telling stories. And this is important because if you dominate this technique, you will improve your conversation. Understand? Like yesterday when I asked Regina, did you talk to your husband? Did he tell you anything interesting that you would like to share? Regina very happily said, yes, teacher, he told me that he loves me very much. Right, Regina?
Example.
Yes.
Example.
Yes, that was a beautiful example, right? Now, anyway, this is what he told you. So I told you that usually when we report, it's always good to change one tense back. You can say, always, teacher. No, not always. If I say, for example, imagine we are talking about cities in the world. And then I mention, London is the biggest city in Europe, period. This is a fact, understand? And one day, Oscar is having a conversation with a friend, and then his friend says, oh, Paris is such a big city. It's the biggest city in Europe. And Oscar remembers that I said one day that London is the biggest city. Okay, Oscar?
Yeah.
Then you could tell your friend, I'm not sure about that. I was told that London is the biggest city in Europe. Or my English teacher told me that London is the biggest city. You don't have to say London was, because London is still the biggest city. So a fact, we never change. But everything else we can change. Okay? For example, I'm talking to a guy and I ask him, do you work here? Yes, I work here. If I'm going to talk to my wife is going to ask me, did you check that for me? Yes, I spoke to a man there and he told me he worked there. Why he worked? Because I don't know if he works or not. Understand? By saying he told me that he worked there. If he doesn't work, I'm not spreading any fake news. This is what I understood. He told me that he worked. If it's true or not, I don't know. Okay? So we saw that if the sentence is in the simple present, we change to the simple past. Present continuous, past continuous. Simple past, present perfect, past perfect, they all go to the past perfect. If you have will, you change to would, can, could, may, might. Now, should, must, they don't change. They stay the same because it's a recommendation. So just to see if you understood what we talked about yesterday, I'd like to do a few exercises, but I'm not going to do all of them in class because I'm going to be very honest. The only way to learn this is to practice, okay? So I can do it. She said that. She said that. So how can I change this from direct to indirect?
She said she could do it.
She could do it.
Yes.
Second.
She said
That.
That could do it.
okay. Now, we talked about this. Is the use of that necessary or unnecessary?
Unnecessary.
Necessary.
I myself don't use. Okay? She said,
She could do it.
thank you. She could do it. Excellent. She said she could do it. Okay?
Okay.
Harry will be here in a moment. They told me.
They told me
He would.
here.
Would be.
Harry
Would be.
Now, we need to analyze something. Are you at the same place where Harry told you that? Or you are in a different place?
There.
Exactly, Gloria.
There.
Oh, they told me that.
Yes.
They told me
There.
Harry would be
There.
there. Only if you are in the same place, you can preserve here. But if you move the place, it's not here. He would be there.
Okay.
Understand? Okay?
Okay.
Roberto,
Yes.
question, please. In the sentence one, it's necessary I put she twice?
Yes. Why is it necessary to say? Because I have two sentences, Camila. She said what? She could do it. Because here could be, for example, she said Paul could do it. She said her father could do it. Understand? So I do need to repeat, she said she, because I have two sentences. She said, that's one sentence. She said what? She could do it. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Number 4. They are very kind people. Paul told me.
They were very
They were
Very
Very
Yeah.
kind people.
Very good, Erica. Very good, guys. They told me they were very kind people. What about number 4? Pay attention to number 4. He's leaving now. You see, Camila, observe that now.
Yes.
She said he is leaving. So
Said he was leaving.
Was leaving.
He was leaving.
yes, he was leaving. And
No?
now,
Then or no? I don't know.
then or at that moment.
Yes.
Understand? Now is now. 1 second after is not now anymore. So she said he was leaving then, or she said he was leaving at that moment, the moment she told me. Okay? Number 6, she's not here at the moment. Her mother said
She wasn't
She was not
here at the
there at the moment.
she wasn't there
She was not there at the moment.
That moment.
at that moment. You see, it's not only the verb that you need to change. You have to change time expressions, place expressions in order to make it precise. It doesn't mean that the people are not going to understand you if you say here, but they will be expecting something here, and it's not going to happen here. Understand? So he won't be here on time. She said
You said
He
Won't
he
be
wouldn't.
there.
he wanted to there. He
Be
wanted
there. Be there.
until
be there on
wouldn't
time.
be
There on time.
Yes, very good. I think you guys understood. Okay? So I can stop here because I have a lot of other things to talk about, and you try to finish the exercise. Tomorrow, I can give you the answers, okay?
Okay.
okay.
There are 20 more here. Oh, I live in New York, she said. So if she is I, you have to say she said, she lived. Understand?
She lived in New York.
Lived.
Yes. There are, just for you to have an idea, 20 more exercises about this. Because the only way to master this is to study. There is no other way. And if you, I assure you, if you study this, if you dominate this technique, your conversation will be much, much better. Because every day, oh, did you talk to Paul? Yeah, what did he say? Well, he told me he's not coming to work tomorrow. Ah, okay, so we have to find a replacement. Understand? Oh, I have more here. Oh, there are lots of exercise. Okay, now, all the examples we saw in the previous case were concerning affirmative or negative statements, right? Like, I was sleeping when Julie called. She said she had been sleeping when Julie called. But what if I have questions? Understand? Then the way to do it is a little different. Okay? So now you have no problem with making reported speech from positive and negative statements. But how about questions? For example, direct speech. She said, where do you live? Let's suppose it's like this. She said, where do you live? How can we make the reported speech in this case? In fact, it is not so different from the reported statement. The tense changes are the same. Simple present, where do you change to the simple past. Present continuous, you change to the past continuous. You can follow the same table. But the difference now starts right here at the beginning. When I change this to indirect, the first thing, she said, where do you live?
She asked it.
Very good, Oscar. Thank you. It's a question. Then you have to say, she asked me where I lived. You see? And it's not a question anymore. I'm already telling you, she asked me where I live. Okay?
Okay.
Now, what if I have, she said, do you love your wife? See? It's a question, but now it's not a question word question. It's a yes or no. Because when I ask you, do you love your husband? Do you love your wife? Okay, you can say yes or no, or so. But the idea is yes or no. So this is called a yes or no question. So what happens when I have a yes or no question? The first thing that changes is again here. She asked me if
If I love
I love
my wife.
my wife, right?
Right.
And if I have here, do you love your wife or not? Two choices. She asked me whether I loved my wife. Whether is
Or not.
No, it's not necessary, Oscar. It's a
No?
convention.
Okay.
When the second option is or not, you can omit it.
Okay.
Okay, it's already a convention. So whether is the same of if
Or not.
Okay? Yes, when you have two
Okay.
choices.
Okay.
Whether.
She
I
asked
understand.
me whether I loved my wife or not, but it's not necessary to say or not.
Okay.
So this is exactly what we are going to see here. Where do you live? She asked me where I live. Do you see how I made it? The direct question is in the present simple, so we change it to the past. Where do you? Where I live. But remember, it is not a question anymore. She asked me where I lived and not where did I live. If you say she asked me where did I live, is wrong. Okay? Oh, where is Julie? She asked me where Julie was.
Okay.
Okay? So here we have some examples. Gloria, can you read this part for me, please? The direct question.
The direct question is the present simple of be. We make the question form of the present simple of be by inverting, changing the position of the subject or and verb. So we need to change them back before putting the verb into the past simple.
Yes. What I'm trying to say here, using many words, is you go back to the normal affirmative statement position. You don't say, where was I? You say, where I was. Okay? Like when I got home last night very late, when I opened the door, my wife asked me, where are you? So this is a direct question. If I'm telling you today, or if I'm talking to a friend that went out with me last night, did your wife get angry at you? Not really, but as soon as I opened the door, she asked me where I was. Understand? Okay. I have to change. Like, where is the post office, please? She asked me where the post office was. What are you doing? She asked me what I was doing. Who was that fantastic man? My English teacher. Oh, no. She asked me who had that fantastic man. Okay, who that fantastic man had been. Okay, so if it's a yes or no, you use if or whether when you have two choices. If you have a question word, who, what, where, when, what time, how long, how many, how much, whatever, you use the same, right? Like, do you like chocolate? She asked me if I like chocolate. Okay? So here, you have more examples. Do you love me? He asked me if I loved him. Okay? Have you ever been to Mexico? She asked me if I had ever been to Mexico. Are you living here? She asked me if I was living here, considering that I am in the same place. Or if I am in a different place, I change to there. All right? So these you need to adequate. Okay?
Okay.
Good. The last but not the least, reported request. Do you know what is the difference between a request and a command?
No.
No.
One you ask,
Okay.
and the other you say it to do it.
Something
It's
like
like
that. An order.
is
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. That is a good way of explaining it. A request is when you're asking for something in a polite way, like, could you please open your books? Or close the window, please. Would you mind closing the window, please? These are requests. A command would be, close the window, open your books, shut up. That's a command. Understand? So here, it's interesting to observe if what you have is a request or a command, because depending on the sentence, you will report it differently. Oh, close the window, please, or could you close the window, please? These are examples of requests. Then, would you mind closing the window, please? Another request. So if I want to change, that's what Gabriel said. A request is when I'm asking the person to do something for me, right? So,
Yeah, request use only a question.
exactly. So
Yeah.
she asked me, she didn't tell me, she
Yeah.
asked me to close the window. By saying she asked me, I'm giving the idea that it was a request, not a command. Understand? Oh, compared examples. Please help me. She asked me to help her. Please don't smoke. Observe the negative. The negative is interesting. She asked me not to smoke. Okay? Don't disappear. She asked me not to smoke. Could you bring my book tonight? It's a request. She asked me to bring her book that night. You see, I changed the pronoun, my book, tonight, that night. Could you pass the milk, please? She asked me to pass the milk. Would you mind coming early tomorrow? She asked me to come early the next day, because tomorrow is not necessarily tomorrow, right? Understand this? Any question about this or no? Everybody's so
No, sir.
quiet. Raquel, Érica, any problem?
No, teacher.
Dirce, Glória, Camila,
Okay.
Okay.
Regina,
Okay,
Okay.
Carol, Roberta,
I'm paying
Okay,
attention.
Adriana, okay, Juliana, okay,
Okay. I need
Vanessa,
to try more.
yes, you will have a chance.
Yeah, we need a practice.
Yeah.
Don't worry, there are many exercises. Oh, to report a negative request, you say not to, not to. You forget about don't, you forget about didn't, okay? So it's always not to. Now, let's see what happens when I have a command, okay? So a request is a polite, like, she told me, sit down. You see, this is not a request. It was a command. Then I don't say, she asked me to sit down. She told me to sit down. And this is very interesting, because if you ever say, she asked me to sit down, you're giving the impression that she was very kind to you. When you say, she told me to sit down, you're giving the impression that it was a direct command. She was not very kind. She was like imperative. Understand? And Americans can observe this. Native speakers can understand this very well. So she told me to do something, is she imposed. She asked me to do something, she requested. Understand the difference?
Yeah.
Oh, go to bed. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you to go to bed. He told the child to go to bed. Don't worry. He told her not to worry. Be on time. He told me to be on time. Okay? Time that must be the other page. Don't smoke here. He told us not to smoke there. Okay? Understand this? Let's see if you can do some exercises. So, please help me carry these. She asked me.
She asked me
Help her.
To help her
To help her
Carry this.
carry that.
that, né?
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
asked me to help her carry that. Please come early.
she asked
She asked me to come earlier.
Come early.
her.
Piece of cake, piece of cake. Please buy some milk.
She asked
Yes,
me
Asked me
to buy some milk.
Buy
to buy some milk.
I loved listening to new voices. There was a new voice there. She asked me to buy some
milk.
milk. Excellent. Could you please open the window?
She asked
Ask me.
me
to open
The window.
Open the window.
You see, it makes your English even more natural. Imagine. Oh, did you talk to your teacher? Yes. And she told me, could you please open the window? You see, it's okay. I can understand this. But if you say, yes, when I entered the room, she asked me to open the window. This is beautiful English, right?
Yeah.
So all the other here are the same. You can finish at home. They are all requests. Here we have some commands. Go to bed.
She told me
Told me
Told me.
bed
To go
Go
to bed.
bed.
She told
me
them or me.
go
to go to bed.
To go to bed.
She demand to go to bed.
Yes, it was something like this. No choice. Okay. Don't be late.
She
Told me
Told me
Don't be late.
not
to be
be
late.
late.
Not to be late.
not to be late.
Of course, you could also say like she told her husband, depending on situation, okay? Husband, not to be late,
Be late.
right? So we are assuming that she told me, but it can be anyone. She told her sister, she told her mother. Tidy your room.
She told me
me
be my
And
home.
my home.
Like my home.
Yes. Or
My
if
home.
I say, for example,
She
could
told
also
her
be she told her son to tidy his room.
his room.
Okay? All right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, there are more exercises here for you to practice. And today we are going to talk about something which is becoming common. It has been common for a long time, but it's getting more common. We are going to talk about homeless. Okay? Do you guys understand what is homeless?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a lot in Vancouver.
Yes.
There's a lot in Brazil too.
Yes.
Vancouver is
There's a lot in San Francisco too.
Yes.
I would say that in most places around the world, you have a lot of homeless people. In Europe, there are thousands, not to say millions, of immigrants or refugees that came from Syria or Iraq, and they don't have a job, they don't have a place to live, so they live on the street. But it's better because at least there are no bombs falling, understand? But the situation is critical. In Vancouver, it's interesting because I don't know if you paid attention, most of the homeless people always have a dog with them. Understand? Yes. But
in Vancouver, a lot of homeless is Canadian.
yes, but that's what I was going to say. I asked a Canadian friend of mine why the number of homeless people had increased a lot. You know what he told me? Drugs.
Yeah,
Many of them, many of them are on the street because of drugs. And they sometimes have placards. I work for food. You offer them a job, they don't want a job. They tell you to fuck off. They want the money to buy drugs. Understand? But it's interesting because this is not a recent problem. I have one of my favorite singers. I don't know, maybe the young girls in this class are going to say, teacher, you're so Jurassic. But I love a guy called Phil Collins. Have you ever heard about this guy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a long time maybe, okay, I was going to say a short time ago, but a long time ago, he wrote a song called Another Day in Paradise.
Paradise.
It actually talks about the situation of homeless people on the street, that when you walk by, they always beg you for money. You see, she calls out to the man on the street, sir, can you help me? It's cold and I have nowhere to sleep. Is there somewhere you can tell me? He walks on, doesn't look back. He pretends he can't hear her. He starts to whistle. Understand the verb to whistle?
No.
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 Okay.
Okay.
He starts to whistle as he crosses the street. He seems embarrassed to be there. And then the woman says, oh, think twice, because it's another day for you and me in paradise. Think twice. It's another day for you, you and me in paradise. Think about it. So again, repeats, she calls out to the man on the street. He can see she's been crying. She's got blisters on the soles of her feet. She can't walk, but she's trying. Blisters is when you walk, especially with very tight shoes for a long time, and you get some blisters in your shoes, in your soles. Understand? Like big bubbles, they are called blisters, okay? I remember one day I walked, I think, 18 kilometers, okay, in one day. And when I got back to the hotel, I had a couple blisters in my sole, okay?
Wow.
Yeah. I was trying to adventure myself around the red light district in Netherlands, understand? So I walked a lot, okay?
I know.
I just walked. Okay?
I imagine.
Yeah, I only stopped for a pizza, as I have already told you. Okay? And then I will just, we don't have time as usual, but I will give you, let you see. Okay, let me see here if I find it. Now, Gabriel has told me how to share the audio and the video at the same time. I was very grateful for that. So give me a sec and I will show you. It's a beautiful song. It's old. So if you have any suggestion for a new song, please let me know because I only know old songs. But please don't send me any funk, okay? Or Os cachorra! Boom, 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 go! Let me see. Tell me if you can listen and see, okay? Okay, you call and share.
Another day in paradise.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, listen to the words. We are homeless. escaping from war.
She calls out to the
man on the street.
Sir, can you help
Can you
me?
help me?
It's cold and I don't
Cold
know
and
where
I
to
know this
sleep.
time.
There's somewhere you can tell me. He walks on,
Goes on,
Don't
doesn't
look
look
back.
back.
he pretends he can't
And he
hear
can
her.
hear her.
Starts to
Whistle
whistle
as
as
he
he
Whistle
crosses
as
crosses
he
the
the
crosses
street.
the
street.
street.
Seems embarrassed to
Embarrassed
be
to be
there.
there.
Oh,
Oh,
think
think
twice.
twice.
It's
Another
another
day
day
for
for
Another
you
you
and
day for
me in
you and me in
paradise.
paradise.
Oh, think
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 twice.
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 It's
Another
another
day
day
for
for
you
Another
you
day for you
in
in
paradise.
paradise. Think about
She calls
Out
out
to
goes
to
the
on to
man
the
on the
man on the
street.
street.
he
You can
can
see
see
Can
she's
she's
see
been
she's being
crying.
crying.
she's got
Blisters
blisters
Got
on
on
the
the
soles
soles
of
of
her
her
soles
feet.
feet.
of her feet.
She
Can
can
walk,
walk
but
Can
she's
but
walk but she
crying.
can't climb.
Oh,
Oh,
think
think
twice.
twice.
Just another day for
Another day
you
for
in
you and me in
paradise.
paradise.
Oh,
Oh,
think twice.
think twice.
Another day
Just
for
another day
you
for you
in
in
paradise.
paradise.
just think about
I
it.
Oh Lord,
Lord,
Is there nothing
there's
more
nothing more
you
can
can
do.
do?
to
Oh Lord, there must be something
must be
you
something
can
you can
say.
say.
You can
Tell
tell
from
Can
the
from
tell from
lines
the
on her
lines on
face.
her face.
you can see
Can
that she's
see that she's
There,
there.
probably been moved on
from
from
every
From
place.
every place.
cause she
Oh,
didn't
she
Didn't
didn't
dare
stay there. Oh,
think
think
twice.
twice.
Another
Just
day for
another day
you
for
in
you in
paradise.
paradise.
Oh,
Oh,
think
think
twice.
twice.
Just another
Just
day for
another
you
day for you
in
in
paradise.
paradise.
just think about
About it.
it.
Think about it.
Think
About
about
it.
it.
About it. About it.
Just
Another
Another
day
day.
for you and me in paradise.
it's just
Another
another
day
day for you and me.
And
in
me in
paradise.
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 Just think
About
about
it.
it.
Paradise.
Just think about it.
Very good.
Very good
Thank you,
song.
teacher, for
You
sharing
see,
this song.
I don't know if you paid attention to the numbers that appeared in this song. Okay, like over 300
There's just
or 3 billion people homeless in the world. Okay,
Wow.
it's a lot. And nowadays, I was kind of disappointed the last time I was in Paris because the refugees from war, they are all over Paris, understand? And it's very depressing because they are so ashamed of being homeless that they just kneel down on the street with the head down They don't want to show their faces, understand? And just stand with a hat or something begging for some spare money, okay? It's all over. It doesn't matter if it's a big city or a small city. I will look for, I took a picture of a woman and her daughter in a situation like this in a very small city in the interior of Belgium, in Bruges, okay? So it is not a good situation, but unfortunately it's increasing, okay? So tomorrow we'll see the exercise, we'll see the answers, and we'll discuss the song to see if you have any problem. I would love to thank everyone for being here. I think the class has never had so many students, okay? My list here is filled with names. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Roberto.
Thank you,
Thank
Roberto.
you.
Teacher, thank you,
See you everyone
everyone.
tomorrow.
To tomorrow.
Teacher.
Alana,
Bye.
have a great
Bye-bye.
evening.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.